Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. So, what's going on today? It's just a news packed day. I couldn't even get my my announcements out for the morning crypto minute. It's just crazy. Banco BISA in Bolivia launches a regulated crypto custody service using Tether. Chainlink's price surges 5% after HBAR, the Hedera Foundation, actually integrates with Chainlink. That's a very big deal. If you didn't listen to me the other day, I had said that HBAR is an ISO 222 compliant coin. What that means is that's the standard for banks, or becoming the standard for banks, right? And now they have access to actually the world's largest oracle. That ought to tell you something. It tells you that HBAR is moving in the right direction, and it tells you that Chainlink, even though its technology might not be as up to speed as Pith, it's still the largest. It's still out there. It's still just offering services to so many platforms. It's going to be hard to dethrone Chainlink. Chainlink is a part of what I call the connective tissue. The connective tissue that keeps Web3 growing. I'm telling you, pay attention. And then you've got to turn around and pay attention to HBAR too. Chainlink's been on a rip. Chainlink has been on a real rip with a whole bunch of deals that they've just done. Check out the articles. It's all there. Circle partnered with HKT to develop blockchain-based loyalty solutions for Hong Kong merchants. That's not a small thing. That's not a small thing at all. That's actually huge. So what I'm expecting is some large services and some new ideas to come out of that partnership. Remember, Circle has a stable coin. What they're doing for this, you would think, would involve their stable coin, giving it more reach, because they need more reach. Why? Because they're trying to catch up to Tether. They're a very distant second compared to Tether. They're like 1/3 the size of Tether. 1/3, actually, they might be less than a third the size of Tether. So they've got to grow, and that's one of the ways that they can do it. The FIA, or Futures Industry Association, has called for the CFTC to take action with regard to the CME gaining approval for a commission role. They're looking for regulatory clarity, regulatory, direction. And that's going to be more than just a little bit of a big deal. And that's something we should all be paying attention to as the CFTC starts to take over from the SEC with regard to crypto compliance, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. And the CFTC seems to move in a much more pragmatic way. And that's what I've been asking for a long time. They actually stop, think, then move. And that's what I like about the CFTC. There is no such thing as a perfect entity, okay? But the CFTC is at least trying to do things properly. Just saying, everybody makes mistakes. The CFTC has made mistakes in the past, right? But they have a far more pragmatic approach toward crypto regulation than the SEC does. And that's what everybody was looking for. So we're just looking for a little bit more here. Let's see. Telegram mini apps are rising in popularity, offering unique features, things like that. To what is it? Over 800 million active users on Telegram. This is actually going to help Toncoin. You don't hear the name mentioned, but it's going to help Toncoin. Just saying, because that's where most of the apps are. So start thinking about how that could affect your portfolio. Or at least that's what I'm doing. Because I'm sitting back and I'm saying, well, what are the unique features? Is it fun? Does it do something? Like, does it perform a service that I actually need? Those kind of things I'm looking for. And if they do, I can see why. Then I can start to see why the public would want that and start using that. And you can see the trickle on effects and see how that can affect my wallet. What else do we have going on? There's just a ton of news. Holy moly. Oh, well, we'll get into the numbers later. I don't have to talk about it now. I know that's evil. Coinbase partners with Visa to launch Visa Direct, allowing instant crypto funding to accounts amid increased Bitcoin demand. What they're saying is, we're going to make it easier for you, faster for you to on-ramp, off-ramp your fiat. Coinbase just cut a huge deal. A huge deal. Now, when I stop and look at this, I kind of go, is this dangerous? Is this something where people are using their credit cards to buy crypto? Right? And I hope they're paying those credit cards in full so that they don't have to, get hit with interest. But imagine how quick that can happen. You see an opportunity, you snatch it up. You make your money, pull your capital out, pay the bill. That could be a very real scenario. Or you just have enough money where you can, use your Visa card to buy crypto, instantly fund your account, pay Visa. Just make sure that if you use this service, you're paying Visa very quickly, right? You don't want to get hit with any kind of interest on the back end. You want to make sure you're getting paid quickly. And then you've got to find out, well, if I ask for $1,000, am I getting that $1,000? Because you know how Visa has fees. So you want to figure out, I haven't figured out the math on where they make money off of this deal. Or is it a one of those deals where they don't make money on every transaction? They're waiting to make money off of people that owe them because they didn't pay the bill off all the way. So they get the interest there, which is a great amount of interest, by the way. But I'm wondering how they make their money there. That could be a thing. So I still have to do a little bit more research, a little bit more digging in to get into that for this whole new Visa Direct thing. But I would tell you, that's going to be big for both companies. It really is going to be big for both of them. Excuse me. OKX collaborates with Standard Chartered. And this is not small for institutional grade crypto custody services. That is not a small thing. That's huge. That is huge. Because Standard Chartered is, a reputable organization. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but you can go back to the articles that I have and you can actually see Standard Chartered's been making moves. Move here, move there, move here, move there. This is yet another big move. And yet another exchange trying to make those bigger moves. Trying to gain those larger clients, larger fees, more money, boom, boom, boom. You see how that works. That's why when I look at Bitpanda, I can easily see how another exchange can buy Bitpanda. I can see how a bank can buy Bitpanda. I can see how companies like MicroStrategy, other companies buying Bitpanda, because it gives them instant footing in a growing area. Just take a look at it. I mean, it's in Vienna. That gives you huge footprint. In Europe, you'd be able to do things. You'd seriously be able to do things. Then you have Florida CFO. Florida CFO is like, hey, I think that the state's pension funds should be allowed to invest in crypto. Now, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. So he's actually asked for approval to do so, or the CFO, could be a they, so I don't know. But yeah, Florida CFO has asked for approval, asked the state board to look into it because that's something they want to do. That could be huge. Whenever you get state pension funds interested in doing something, you're talking about the possibility of hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what that means. What could that do to the market? Again, if that gets approved, that's another state that's joining in. There are other states that have done the same. So yeah, I'm paying attention to that. Then you have VanEck partnering with Kiln. Somebody was asking me about staking and how good they are and everything else. And I said, one of the criteria that I have is who are they in bed with? Who are they partnered with? Well, VanEck partners with Kiln to introduce Solana staking in Europe, offering 70% of staking rewards to investors. Whoa. Whoa. VanEck's not playing games. That's, whew. Like, that's big. That's big boy news. Big girl news. Big they news. Just saying. So I'm looking at that and I'm just going, holy moly. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. So what I'm looking for right there is, if you're in Europe and you can get in on that, check out that staking opportunity, because it could actually wind up being a lot. It could wind up being a lot. So for me, it's kind of like, yeah, I could probably get into that. If I was over there, I could get into that. But I'd also be looking at Kiln. Because VanEck has to look at them and they have to go, well, what's your security posture? What's this? What's that? So Captain Banana was asking me, well, so what would it take to look at the security posture of a staking organization? This is one of the ways. You look to see who they're in bed with. They did the due diligence that you're looking to do, right? So how many of those types of that level of company are they in bed with? That you start looking at, right? I've heard of Kiln. I've used Kiln, so because they're not just in Europe. And so you look at that and you kind of go, oh, okay, let's dig a little deeper. Let's dig a little deeper. But you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start with the GMB Crypto Tracker top 25 losers. Let's see how long this list is. And it's not. You see that? Stops right there. Is there anybody on this list I'm interested in? No. You could say CAS because it's in the top 50 and they're down 7% and they're 47% off their all-time high with a GMBX factor of 0.89x. Do I think that CASPA can make that up in this bull run? Yeah, I think they can. In the coming bull run, I think they can do it. So I'm not so worried about that. That could be a good investment. Let's look at the winner side. On the winner side, wow. You just keep going. Let's see who I'm paying attention to. Sui is up 9%. Their all-time high is $2.35. They're 13% off with a GMBX factor of 0.15x. The math here isn't can they obtain their all-time high again. Their math here is going to be how far can they blow through their all-time high. Yeah, that's when you start thinking about things. Maybe I should create the Y factor. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create the Y factor for you guys, and we'll see how that rocks. Let's see what else is out there. Ethereum name service is up 7%. GMBX factor of 3.56x, 78% off their all-time high. Yeah, I kind of like that. ZK Sync, 6% up, 56% off their all-time high, 1.27x. Psi Network is 6% up, and that's it. That'll be the last that's on here. 6% up, 64% off their all-time high with a 1.79 GMBX factor. I have not done a lot of research on Psi, so I don't know. ZK Sync, I think they can make that. I think they can make their 1.27x factor. I really do. The Y factor that I'm talking about right now, the Y factor would be what X or what Y do I think a coin can make? So I'm thinking about that. That we might be able to do that mathematically and figure out the chances and everything else. That would be interesting. That will be very interesting. So I'm definitely looking at that. Chainlink is eyeballing 11.92. It was at $11.92, eyeballing $12. That's interesting. I like that. Let's see. Did you know that Bitcoin's new... Actually, no. Nope. Not yet. Because I could have sworn I saw that Bitcoin hit a new all-time high on some exchanges. We'll have to take a look at that. Who do we have today? Microsoft, Meta, Eli Lilly, AbbVie, Caterpillar, Amgen, Booking Holdings. Wow. ADP. Oof. You have a lot of big companies coming out with news and numbers today. MetLife. Wow. Aflac, DoorDash, retail spending. That's why I want to pay attention to that number. We already know what's coming out in terms of U.S. numbers. And what did I tell you? Look at that. Extreme greed at 77. That's right. Fear and greed index is at 77. And guess what else? We are only $800 billion away, a little over $800 billion away from hitting, $800 million away from hitting $100 billion in total value locked. Wow. Take a step back and just, wow. That's not small. That's a very big deal. You know what I keep telling you guys? Everybody is a rock star when the market is going up. Everybody's a rock star when the market's going up. This is why I use my GMB crypto tracker, because I'm a rock star whether or not the market is going up or the market is going down. I can see the numbers, right? And the numbers work to my advantage, because the more I understand the numbers, the more I can use that information to make sound decisions. So when I look at this big screen, I start going, oh, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BCH, BNB. Wasn't that long ago that I told you guys BNB was going to be up above 600, and there it is, up above 600. Been rocking in the fives for a minute, and there it is, above 600. It's going to go way above that number. So yeah, you start to look at what are the opportunities, what are the real opportunities. A lot of people look at this and they just see red and green, the deepness of reds, deepness of greens, right? Because here's a different green, here's a different green. You see that? That's the volume that's going on, the rate of movement that's happening in that particular coin. However, the idea is that, that can happen in a heartbeat. That's why you have to go back and look at the numbers. So even when you we'll get back to Bitcoin in a minute. So yeah, see, that came real close to 73,750, real close. $12 off by $12. It's at 73,738 was the high just a little while ago, and it hit. That's where it was. Oh, right there. It's right there. Isn't that painful? Oh man. But then you start looking at the numbers straight across, and you start realizing, oh, there could be an opportunity. See that? 73,750. The high was 73,738. So you start realizing, you start looking across the numbers, and you start thinking about, well, what's the rhythm of this coin? Is it moving with Bitcoin? Does it have additional news that's also pushing it up, and the timing just happened to work out right? That's what happened to SHIB. SHIB rises and falls, almost in sync with Bitcoin. However, they also had good news, and that pushed them up above Avalanche. So now Avalanche isn't that far away. It's only $1 billion away, but still, that's what pushed it up above Avalanche. They had news, plus the market was going up. That's when you start to realize, oh wow, what else can happen? And you start to realize, oh, now I understand what else can happen. Yeah, you're starting to look at, Shiba Inu versus Toncoin and Cardano, since they're both so close. Not that far away. That's going to be interesting. If that's not interesting, I don't know what is. Right? And I keep telling you guys about Bitcoin Cash. People laugh at me when I talk about Bitcoin Cash. But look at Bitcoin Cash's year to date. Its year to date is 46.77. Look at something like, Bitcoin. It's far behind Bitcoin, but wow. It's way above a few other coins. So you start to realize, oh wow, I could have made money from that day. From that day, I could have started making money. I could have been losing money, right? Like look at XRP. I could be down 14%, almost 15%. For Cardano, I could be down 40%. I'd be losing my hair right now if I had any, right? But you look at Shiba Inu and it's outpacing Bitcoin. It's better than Bitcoin when you look at the year to date. Bitcoin's at about 70. This one's at 81. You start to think, that's when I say you start to look at those numbers, and the GMB crypto tracker makes it easier for you to see that. It's a really good tool. Really good tool. I use it every stinking day. Every stinking day. We actually had Joaquin Rivera, one of our big baggers, actually come out last night and say, listen, the community and the GMB crypto tracker has helped me trade better. That's huge. That's a huge compliment. Joaquin, thank you so much for that. It still has a smile on my face. So everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. I hope you like the information that I'm sharing. And I hope to see you live at 8 p.m. tonight when we shoot the live. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.